My stepmother kicked me out of the house and took the money from my inheritance to give to my stepsister. And now that they're on the streets, they're asking for my help. When my dad got married to my father, she always wanted girls, and, of course, I was not a girl. So when my stepsister was born, who was not only planned but also a girl, and according to my parents, she should be protected at all costs. This meant that my stepsister could do anything at home, including taking my things, my money, destroying my homework, breaking my toys, etc. Whenever I complained to my parents, they simply told me to stop being spoiled and ended up punishing me. Because of this, I ended up getting used to it and just let everything happen. Of course, it bothered me, but my schoolmates knew about the situation and ended up helping me by hiding the money I saved in their homes or toys I bought. However, one of the worst things that happened due to my parents' behavior was when my grandfather passed away. Unlike my parents, my grandfather liked me a lot. I loved spending weekends at his house, and for me, he was my real father. When he passed away, he left me a significant amount of money, but more importantly, he left several properties he had for me. This happened during my adolescence, and I was happy that he gave me these properties since it meant that when I turned 18, I would have a place to go and finally escape from my family. However, as I was still a teenager, my family was supposed to be the legal guardians of the properties until I turned 18. But contrary to what I thought, when I turned 18, they told me they had already sold all the properties to give the money to my stepsister, and I couldn't do anything about it. My father is a lawyer, and if I tried to report them, they would just make up something, and nothing would happen. That said, they kicked me out of the house. It was a very difficult time in my life. I had to stay on the streets for weeks until I finally confessed my situation to a school friend, and he agreed to shelter me in his home. I had to work and give him a portion of my salary, but honestly, I am very grateful, and I know that if it weren't for him, I probably wouldn't even be here today. After that, for the first time, my life was improving. After studying hard, I managed to pass a local government exam and got a job that paid enough for me to finally move into my own house. I got a girlfriend, got promoted at work, and so far, my life was perfect. Until one day, I heard a doorbell. My girlfriend was out of the state for work, so I didn't know who could be visiting me, and to my surprise, when I opened the door, it was my family. I hadn't seen them since I was kicked out of the house, so it was definitely a surprise. Before I could say anything, they told me I should give them about $5,000. After recovering from the shock, I asked why I should do that, and they said I should give it because it was my duty. After hearing that, I just laughed and tried to close the door, leaving them talking alone. But my father noticed and changed his tone, saying that they needed my help. They said they had no more money, and due to my stepsister's excessive spending, they had to sell the house to pay off debts. They were asking me for $5,000 because, according to them, they were going to move to one of the houses my grandfather left for me, but they didn't have money for the trip. I told them that these houses were rightfully mine, and I would never help them, and they should leave immediately from in front of my house before I called the police. After a lot of discussion and after I took out my phone and typed the police number in front of them, they left. However, what they don't know is that now that I know my houses were never sold and it was just their lie, I will sue them and take everything back. I know they probably still have all the houses, so I will take all of them. They will surely be angry when they find out that I will sue them, but I simply don't care, and I don't mind if they end up on the streets. My lawyer will serve the lawsuit notice tomorrow, and when they find out, I will update everyone. Update. Basically, they kept calling me repeatedly on that day, urging me to pay the $5,000 and stop being a horrible son. My father even came back to my house to argue with me again on the same day and try to convince me to give them the money. I threw in his face that he had never done anything for me, and I honestly couldn't believe he really thought I would do something for him. For some reason, after this comment, he seemed genuinely offended and said I was ungrateful and then left. However, their reaction when they found out about the lawsuit was priceless. I think they all found out at the same time because I started receiving messages from all of them calling me names, saying that I was trying to steal from them what was rightfully theirs, etc. I told them, first of all, that all the properties there were mine, and I was just taking them back. My father, once again, said that as a lawyer, he would not let things end like and that they would sue me as well and take my current house. I just laughed and let him keep talking. But of course, I took screenshots of the entire conversation. On the day of the trial, they all pretended to be innocent, saying they didn't know what they had done wrong for me, their own son, to be suing them. They even managed to convince other members of my family who didn't know what had happened to think I was a horrible person with no empathy for anyone. This continued for a while until the judge stopped them, and my lawyer began presenting my case. After he started, honestly, I think my father realized instantly that he had no chance. Besides openly admitting in our conversations that he illegally took the properties, he also admitted that he was going to use his privilege as a lawyer to falsely sue me to take my house. In the end, not only were they ordered to return my house, but they were also ordered to pay me compensation of about 25% of the value of all the houses for the time I unjustly spent without them. Additionally, another case was opened by the government to investigate my father and potentially revoke his license to practice law since he had been extremely unethical. My relatives, upon realizing I was right, apologized and came to my side, so essentially, my parents have no one left stepsister. I know many will say that I was wrong to do all this, but honestly, I don't care. You can now check if there's a part 2 by pressing share and more.